As a physical therapist who works with elderly people and their families every day, I'm constantly made aware of how underprepared families are to care for their elderly parent once they leave our facility. Our healthcare system doesn't help caregivers. It doesn't really care what happens once somebody leaves a facility like ours. In today's video, I want to talk about the 10 most important things to think about as you're becoming a caregiver to your parent. I'm Tammy Pentel. I'm a physical therapist and a life coach for caregivers. I started this channel to be a resource because we're so lacking in resources or guidance, and there's so many more people who are having to step into this caregiving role. The top 10 things I think everybody should think about before becoming a caregiver to your parent are, first, to really understand your role. What are the things that you're going to be doing? What are the things you feel confident doing? What are the things you don't feel confident doing and are going to need to hire somebody for? The amount of care that your parent needs is going to increase over time. The second tip is to establish a support system. Use your family, your friends, even external community resources or online support to help you, to answer questions you might have, to help walk you through some of the things, even just to share the frustration. Sometimes it helps just to get it out. As part of your support system, set up emergency contacts. Make sure that everybody has the appropriate phone numbers. Share it with everybody included in that emergency contact list and in any caregivers, other family members, medical staff that might need access to that list. I also think it's really important to have an emergency plan. So if something happens, like we just recently had an earthquake here in the Northeast, if something like that happens and it could be a dangerous situation, do you have a plan in place? Maybe even think about having different people responsible for different parts of the emergency plan. And then as part of your support system, accept help from people. Have certain things that you allow them to do. Don't feel like you have to do everything yourself. The third tip is to look at your parents' daily needs and the daily activities that they do. Look at their mobility, the assistive device, the walker that they use or that they don't use. Are there any things that they do during the day that don't look safe or have led to falls in the past? This is where you can ask your parents' primary care physician if they will prescribe home physical therapy or occupational therapy. They can look at your parents' mobility, strength, balance, and they can look at the environment too. The fourth tip is to make sure that you still engage in social activities. Don't isolate yourself, even if you are the only caregiver. If you're new to becoming a caregiver, set your expectation that every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to take an hour and schedule that into your day. That might mean that you have to hire somebody or you ask somebody to come over and sit with your parent while you're gone for an hour. The fifth tip is to manage health and medications. I strongly recommend that you get all recent medical records, things from hospitals, nursing homes, skilled rehab facilities, doctor's appointments. Ask for all that documentation. Start a binder that holds that documentation. And if there's a lot of medical jargon that you don't understand, find somebody who does. Maybe somebody in your family has some medical background, and look for things like any recent diagnoses that you are not aware of, any recent medications. Even look at the medications and how they're dosed so that you know that they're being taken correctly. As part of managing health and medications is the idea of learning how to effectively communicate with healthcare practitioners. And being able to effectively communicate is how we're going to get our parents' needs met best. Organize medications, write down the medications, what they're for, the dose, how often they're taken, and keep that somewhere where everybody can see who's giving medications. Tip number 6 is preparing the legal and financial stuff. So make sure that insurance is set up, wills or trusts are set up. I strongly recommend contacting an elderly law attorney. We did that with my uncle, and although it was pretty expensive, it made things so much smoother and so much easier. Tip number 7 is create a safe and accessible environment. So look around the house. Are there things that might be causing falls? Are there ways to modify the space so that there's less of a fall risk? Watch the things that your parent does. Are there ways that you can see that it might be easier? And this is also a great time to have physical therapy or occupational therapy come in. They can look at the specifics to your parent, their balance, strength, mobility, how well they use an assistive device, and also at the environment, and they can make recommendations for equipment. Tip number 8 is to get professional help. Know when it's time to actually reach out and get help from professionals, whether that's a professional for you as like a therapist or a coach, whether it's hiring an agency to come in for a certain amount of time or hiring an agency for 24-hour care. Tip number 9 is to leverage technology. Use the really cool technological stuff that there is now. Things like cameras, things like apps on our phone that can help us to schedule things and remember things, or even tracking devices that actually can go inside shoes. There's all kinds of technology out there that is just amazing. And then tip number 10 is to recognize your own well-being. Learn about the signs and the symptoms of burnout. Caregiver burnout is a real thing, and it often happens when things aren't addressed when they're smaller and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So reach out to support groups. Use any resources that will help to make this job easier on you, and make sure to take time out for yourself. Give yourself credit for this really difficult role that you've taken on, and be aware of the inner critic voice that tells you not to give yourself credit, that beats you up. Work on your own mindset, because this is going to help you in every area of your life, including caregiving. Hopefully this list of 10 tips will help you as you become a caregiver to your parent. Please like and share, subscribe to this channel. In the comment section below, what are some other tips to think about? Thanks for watching.